Coming up next on Passion Struck, Michelle Obama said, "True success is not measured by what we achieve for ourselves, but by what we inspire others to achieve." In today's episode, I will explore the profound wisdom of Michelle Obama's quote through the lens of Mark Nepo's poem, Accepting This, and the inspiring story and memory of my sister, Carolyn Miles. This poem's themes in Carolyn's life teach us that embracing flawed abundance and actively expressing love can lead to a deeper connection with others. Success, as Obama reminds us, is not just about personal milestones. It's about inspiring others to reach their potential and to contribute to the greater good. By sharing Carolyn's story and the powerful connection between Michelle Obama's quote and Mark Nepo's poem, we will learn how acts of love and kindness can bridge divides and foster unity in our communities. Join me as we uncover how to create a ripple effect of positive change in a divided world, inspired by Carolyn's legacy and the wisdom of accepting this. Welcome to Passion Struck. Hi, I'm your host, John R. Miles, and on the show, we decipher the secrets, tips, and guidance of the world's most inspiring people and turn their wisdom into practical advice for you and those around you. Our mission is to help you unlock the power of intentionality so that you can become the best version of yourself. If you're new to the show, I offer advice and answer listener questions on Fridays. We have long-form interviews the rest of the week with guests ranging from astronauts to authors, CEOs, creators, innovators, scientists, military leaders, visionaries, and athletes. Now, let's go out there and become Passion Struck. Today's episode is incredibly profound and meaningful to me. Last Saturday, we gathered to honor the life of my sister, Carolyn Patricia Miles, at our memorial service in Austin, Texas. It was a moment that was filled with both sorrow and deep reflection. Carolyn wasn't just a sister to me, she was a pillar of strength, compassion, and love. Her battle with pancreatic cancer showcased her incredible resilience as well as her indomitable spirit. Carolyn's life was a testament to the power of love and acceptance, values that she held dear and practiced daily. These values are poignantly captured in a poem that she chose for her memorial service, Accepting This by Mark Nepo. The poem reflects Carolyn's understanding of life, suffering, and compassion, and offers wisdom that is especially relevant in today's turbulent times. Last week, as we were reflecting on Carolyn's life and her incredible journey, the news broke out about the failed assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. This shocking event starkly illustrated the deep divisions that we have within society. It reminds us how polarized we've become, where differences are often met with hostility rather than understanding. It underscored the urgent need for unity and compassion, qualities that Carolyn exemplified throughout her life. In today's episode, I want to delve deep into the significance of Mark Nepo's poem and how Carolyn's choice of this poem serves as a call for unity and compassion in these divisive times. We live in a world where binary perspectives dominate, and events like this assassination attempt only deepen the chasm between us. Carolyn's legacy, combined with the wisdom of Nepo's poem, offer a path forward, a way to bridge our divides through love, acceptance, and everyday acts of compassion. Join me as we explore how we can honor Carolyn's memory by embracing these values and working towards a more unified and compassionate world. Reflecting on my sister Carolyn's life, I am filled with admiration for her grace, compassion, and resilience. Carolyn lived with an acceptance of life's imperfections and a deep appreciation for its beauty, a philosophy that shaped her entire journey. Carolyn's adventurous spirit and an innate desire to make a difference were evident from a young age. One of my favorite memories of her is from 1985, when she became involved in Peace Child at the height of the tensions between the US and the Soviet Union. At just 12 years old, she was part of a delegation that traveled to Moscow and beyond to perform Peace Child, a musical play advocating for disarmament and for global understanding. This transformative experience profoundly shaped her worldview, instilling a lifelong dedication to promoting peace and unity. After this formative experience, Carolyn went on to attend Indiana University, where she majored in Russian studies and political science. She chose these fields because she believed in the power of compassion and understanding to heal even the deepest divides. Her time at Indiana University was just the beginning of her commitment to these ideals. Upon graduating, Carolyn worked for the National Democratic Institute, where she helped to foster democratic values throughout the former Soviet Union. Her dedication to promoting unity and understanding in a region that was marked by repression exemplified her ability to find joy and meaning even in difficult times. Carolyn's quest for knowledge led her to earn a master's degree in international affairs from Columbia University, focusing on international economic policy. She aimed to use this knowledge to spread unity and compassion globally, guiding her through roles at the State Department, Cambridge Energy Research Associates, and the Abernathy McGregor Group. Eventually, Carolyn settled in Austin, Texas, where she became a director with public strategies and spent 12 years working at the University of Texas at Austin. Her work at the Macomb School of Business, the Lyndon B. Johnson School of Public Affairs, and the Dell Medical School was marked by a relentless pursuit of excellence and a deep commitment to improving the institutions that she served. Despite her successful career, Carolyn told me in the days just before she died that she always felt a void, a deep yearning to serve others more directly. This desire took on new urgency when she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Rather than letting the diagnosis define her, Carolyn continued her education, enrolling in a master's program in social work at the University of Texas at Austin. She juggled her studies and treatment protocol with remarkable resilience, driven by her desire to use her experiences to help others. Carolyn's journey is a powerful example of becoming passion-struck, demonstrating that it's never too late to pursue one's true calling and to make a profound impact. Her battle with cancer only strengthened her resolve, showing that personal adversity can be transformed into a powerful force for positive change. Throughout her illness, Carolyn's primary motivation was her son, Miles, who became the cornerstone of her life. She fought cancer with every ounce of strength that she had, determined to be there for him and to continue her mission of helping others. As a mother, sister, aunt, and friend, Carolyn's compassion and strength gave hope to all who knew her. Carolyn's life was filled with acts of compassion. She never shied away from helping others, even when she was battling her own challenges. Her example teaches us that compassion is not about grand gestures, but everyday actions showing love and care for those around us. Whether it was supporting her colleagues, volunteering in her community, or simply being there for her friends and family, Carolyn's acts of kindness were countless and deeply meaningful. Testimonials from those who knew Carolyn best highlighted her extraordinary character. They speak of her unwavering support, infectious enthusiasm for life, and deep empathy for others. She was a person who made everyone feel valued and understood, who brought out the best in people, and who lived her values every day. Carolyn's ability to find joy and meaning, even in the most challenging of times, is a lesson for all of us. Her acceptance of life's flaws and her deep appreciation for its beauty made her a truly remarkable person. Her journey from an adventurous young girl involved in Peace Child to a dedicated professional and a loving mother battling cancer is a story of strength and unyielding hope. She leaves a legacy that inspires us to embrace these values and to continue working towards a more unified and compassionate world. To further honor Carolyn's life and values, I want to introduce you to a poem that she chose for her memorial service, Accepting This by Mark Nepo. This poem profoundly reflects the philosophy Carolyn embraced and lived by. Mark Nepo is a poet, author, and spiritual teacher whose work focuses on inner transformation and the healing power of love and compassion. His writings often explore the human condition, offering insights into how we can navigate life's challenges with grace and understanding. The poem, Accepting This by Mark Nepo. Yes, it is true, I confess. I have thought great thoughts and sung great songs. All of it rehearsal for the majesty of being held. The dream is awakened when thinking, I love you, and life begins when saying, I love you, and joy moves like blood when embracing others with love. My efforts now turn from trying to outrun suffering to accepting love wherever I can find it, stripped of causes and plans and things to strive for. I have discovered everything I could need or ask for is right here in flawed abundance. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. Ultimately, we are small living things, awakened in the stream, not gods who carve out rivers. Like human fish, we are asked to experience meaning in the life that moves through the gill of our heart. There is nothing to do and nowhere to go. Accepting this, we can do everything and go anywhere. Nepo's poem conveys a powerful message about transforming thoughts into actions. The lines, "The dream is awakened when thinking I love you, and life begins when saying I love you," illustrate how love, when actively expressed, brings about a profound awakening. This transformation is about moving from the abstract to the tangible, turning noble thoughts into everyday actions of love and kindness. Carolyn lived this transformation every day. Her thoughts of compassion and peace were not just ideas, but guiding principles that she actively expressed through her work, studies, and interactions with others. The poem also emphasizes a significant shift from striving for unattainable goals to accepting and appreciating the flawed abundance around us. Nepo writes, "Stripped of causes and plans and things to strive for, I have discovered everything I could need or ask for is right here in flawed abundance." Carolyn embodied this acceptance. Despite the challenges that she faced, including her battle with cancer, she found joy and meaning in the present moment, embracing life's imperfections and appreciating its beauty. This acceptance allowed her to live fully and meaningfully without the constant pressure of striving for perfection. Nepo's poem speaks to the universal remedy of compassion. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. These lines address the reality that while we cannot eradicate all suffering, we can alleviate it through our compassionate actions. Carolyn's life was a testament to this belief. She demonstrated that small acts of kindness and support could make a significant difference, even when grand solutions were out of reach. In our current societal divide, this message is more relevant than ever. We can bridge divides and foster unity by choosing to feed, hold, and live compassionately. Nepo's metaphor of humans as small living things awakened in the stream underscores our shared human experience and our interconnectedness. The imagery reminds us that we are all part of a larger whole, not isolated individuals. Carolyn understood this deeply. Her work in promoting peace, her dedication to helping others, and her ability to find joy and meaning in her connections with people all reflected her belief in our shared humanity. In a world that often emphasizes differences, this poem and Carolyn's life encourages us to recognize our commonalities and to find meaning in our collective experiences. Carolyn chose accepting this for her memorial service because it resonated with her values and philosophy. The poem's themes of turning thoughts into actions, accepting flawed abundance, and living a life of compassion were central to how she lived. Her daily acts of love and kindness were a reflection of the poem's message that while we cannot eliminate all suffering, we can choose to act with compassion and make a difference in the lives of those around us. Reflecting on Carolyn's life and the wisdom of Mark Nepo's poem is especially poignant given the current polarized climate that we find ourselves in globally. The recent failed assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump starkly highlighted this. The shocking event underscores the deep divisions within our society and the urgent need for unity and compassion. The fact is, our world is more divided than ever, with conflicts and tensions spanning the globe, from the war between Israel and Hamas to the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and the rising tensions between the United States, China, Iran, and North Korea. Divisiveness is a common thread. These conflicts illustrate how deeply entrenched divisions can be. These conflicts illustrate how deeply entrenched divisions can lead to violence, suffering, and misunderstanding on a global scale. Economic turmoil is also spreading across the globe, leading to protest, attempted coups, and the election of extremist politicians on both the far right and the far left. This is seen in both rich and poor countries alike, where deep economic anxieties are leaving a trail of political turmoil and violence. Protests have erupted in Greece, Portugal, Belgium, and Germany. Outside Berlin in March, farmers spread manure on a highway, which caused several crashes. In France, they burned hay, dumped manure in Nice's city hall, and hung the carcass of a wild boar outside a labor inspection office in Agen. The economic anxieties are adding to divisions between rural and urban dwellers, unskilled and college-educated workers, and religious traditionalists and secularists. In France, Italy, Germany, as well as Sweden, extremist politicians have seized on this dissatisfaction to promote nationalist and anti-immigrant agendas on the far right and radical economic and social reforms on the far left. Living in such a divided society has dire consequences. It leads to increased violence, as seen in the attempt on Trump's life, and a general breakdown in social cohesion. When people see each other as enemies rather than fellow citizens, the potential for constructive dialogue and problem solving diminishes. This division not only threatens our democratic processes, but also our ability to come together to address common global challenges. Growth is slowing worldwide, making it harder to find solutions and exasperating the existing tensions. In light of these divisions, there is an urgent need for unity and compassion. As Mark Nepo's poem and Carolyn's life illustrate, we cannot eliminate all suffering, but we can alleviate it through our actions. Empathy and understanding are crucial in bridging the divides that separate us. By focusing on what unites us rather than what divides us, we can begin to heal and move forward as a society. So how do we apply Carolyn's legacy and the poem's message to today's world? Mark Nepo's poem, Accepting This, provides a profound roadmap for unity, urging us to embrace our flaws and focus on love and compassion. By accepting the imperfections in ourselves and others, we open the door to greater understanding and cooperation. The poem teaches us the transformative power of love and compassion can make a significant difference in our daily lives and throughout the world. Reflecting on Carolyn's life, we see these principles in action, which can guide us through today's global challenges. Nepo's poem emphasizes the transformation of thoughts into actions. The lines, "The dream is awakened when thinking I love you, and life begins when saying I love you," illustrate how love, when actively expressed, brings about a profound awakening. Applying this principle globally means that world leaders, policymakers, and citizens must turn their thoughts of peace and understanding into tangible actions that foster dialogue and reconciliation. For instance, nations can collaborate on shared goals, such as climate change mitigation and public health initiatives, instead of focusing on ideological differences. Nepo's poem speaks to the universal remedy of compassion. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. These lines highlight that while we cannot solve all global problems overnight, we can make significant strides by focusing on compassion. In the context of international conflicts, prioritizing humanitarian aid, supporting refugee populations, and fostering dialogue that prioritizes human welfare over political gain can help alleviate suffering and promote unity. By choosing to feed, hold, and live compassionately, we can bridge divides and foster a more harmonious global community. Nepo's metaphor of humans as small living things awakened in the stream underscores our shared human experience and our interconnectedness. This imagery reminds us that we are all part of a larger whole, not isolated individuals. Recognizing our common humanity can help de-escalate conflicts and build bridges between divided communities and nations. As we navigate the current polarized climate, let us draw inspiration from Carolyn's legacy and Nepo's poem. By transforming our thoughts into compassionate actions, accepting the imperfections around us, and recognizing our shared humanity, we can work towards a more unified and compassionate world. In this episode, I explored the profound lessons from Mark Nepo's poem, Accepting This, and how they resonate deeply with the life of my sister Carolyn. We discussed the current polarized climate and the urgent need for unity and compassion amidst global conflicts and economic turmoil. I emphasize the importance of turning thoughts into action, embracing flawed abundance, and finding meaning in our shared humanity. We also highlighted practical steps to foster unity and compassion in our daily lives and communities. Honoring Carolyn's legacy means embodying the values that she lived by: love, acceptance, and compassion. She showed us that small, consistent acts of kindness can make a significant impact. By living these values, we can bridge divides, promote understanding, and create a more unified world. I urge you to take these lessons to heart. Embrace compassion and acceptance in your interactions. Seek to understand different perspectives and actively work towards unity in your communities. Together, we can honor Carolyn's memory and build a better, more compassionate world. Thank you for joining me today in this heartfelt episode. If you found this episode useful, please share it with others who might benefit from the insights that I shared today. I encourage you to take these lessons to heart and to apply them in your daily lives. By doing so, we can honor my sister's legacy and her goal of creating a more unified and compassionate world. Before we wrap up, I'm excited to share a sneak peek of our next episode. I'll be joined by Dr. Tessa West, professor of psychology at NYU and the author of the groundbreaking book, Job Therapy: Finding Work That Works for You. In this episode, we'll delve into the secrets behind job satisfaction, uncovering the hidden psychological reasons behind career frustration, and discovering how to navigate our way to a fulfilling career. Tessa shares her expert insights on everything from dealing with difficult bosses to making bold career pivots. Don't miss this enlightening conversation that could change the way you view your work life.
Losses tend to loom larger than gains, and most of the people you're speaking with will have some insight into why the last person who took on this role failed at it. In fact, they might have more insight about what they did wrong or structurally wasn't in place for them to succeed than they will about what they did right. In fact, we are much better at giving failure feedback to people than we are giving positive reinforcing feedback. And I think that's something a lot of us struggle with. It makes feedback hard, but you can embrace that finding that kind of losses loom larger than gains in the context of the interview and get unique insights about all the things no one is telling you that will lead to your potential failure.
Remember that we rise by lifting others, so share this show with those that you love and care about. In the meantime, do your best to apply what you hear on the show so that you can live what you listen. And until next time, go out there and become passion struck.